Welcome to the Under Construction Podcast with me, Martin Williams. Here we talk about how to build or rebuild your life one step at a time. Let's get to work. And welcome to the Under Construction Podcast. My name is Martin Williams. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. You may do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. All the links to the podcast can be found at guidedexpressions.com/podcast with an S. Today, I wanted to talk to you about being intense about your goals. So I'm someone who watches a lot of sports. Haven't watched as much lately. With the lockdown and everything else, hasn't been nearly as entertaining. But I occasionally check in and see how my teams are doing and everything else. But one of the reasons that I like sports is because, the athletes are so dedicated, right? And they're so passionate about what they do. And I think that anytime you're watching a person who's passionate about what they do, it's entertaining, it's inspiring. And so, a professional athlete, to get to where they've gotten to in their career, they've put in long, long hours of practice and played many games, and they have basically molded themselves into this high-performing athlete. Most people don't wake up and become that, right? And especially in our society where, so many people are molded into mediocrity, right? Mediocrity is not only accepted, it's encouraged, because a mediocre person really doesn't threaten society, right? I don't want to go too far in that, but my point is, to be intense is really what these athletes have in common. All of them, whether you're talking about LeBron James, Serena Williams, the late Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, they all have this common thread. They were just intense people. And, you have to be to reach the highest heights of, their sport. And of course, it goes into, business. You look at someone like a Jeff Bezos, who started in his garage. He started started his multi-billion-dollar corporation in his garage, but it required intensity to get from that point to where he is now. You look at someone like a Bill Gates or Warren Buffett, and we all think that intensity means just shouting at people and scrunching up your face in such a way. It doesn't mean any of that. It's really just a focus, and, this intense laser focus that I'm going to do what I set out to do, and I'm not letting anything get in my way. And so I want to ask you, if you have goals, if you have desires, how intense are you when it comes to your goals? But I had to ask myself that, how intense am I really? When it comes to the things that I want to achieve and want to make happen in my life. How intense am I when it comes to these goals that I say that I have? Because if you're not intense, you might get there. You might get the goal. You might make it happen, but it's going to take a longer time than maybe it should, right? And what I found is that the more intense you are, the quicker it happens in most cases, and the higher you reach. So I know that I've wanted to lose weight for quite some time, right? I had this desire to lose weight, but I wasn't losing weight, right? I desired to lose weight, but, I was still eating the way I wanted to eat. I was exercising sporadically, right? I didn't have a plan. I didn't have a deadline. I didn't have any of that, right? I didn't have a specific weight number in mind. It was just, whatever, right? And so my results reflected that, okay? Because you want the results that you want, it requires a certain level of intensity and focus because your mind is currently where you don't want to be, right? So taking that weight loss example, if you are 25 pounds heavier than you want to be, your mind is currently at the 25 pounds too heavy number. That's where your mind is. And so all of your activities by default are going to drag you into that mode of where you don't want to be. And this is why change can be a challenge, because we're working against our mind in many cases until we reprogram our mind. And one of the ways you reprogram your mind is through focus and focusing on the thing that you want to become, focusing on the place you want to go. So instead of focusing on your current circumstances, which is very easy to do, you have to focus on what you're becoming and what you want to be. So, if I want to lose 25 pounds, if I'm focused on being 25 pounds heavier, guess where I'm going? I'm going to stay either at the 25 pounds too heavy or probably get heavier because that's what my focus is. But if I'm focused on this is the weight that I want, okay, great. That the mind begins to say, okay, all right, I'm 25 pounds lighter, right? And so you start focusing on that, and then you can start turning the ship a little bit. But that's not it, right? That's not the end of the story, because a new goal can be kicked out by your mind, just like a new organ gets rejected by the body, right? When they do transplants, they try to transplant an organ, right? It can, the body starts fighting it because it's a foreign agent, right? And in the same way, like that new goal, your mind kicks it out automatically, right? Even though it's what's best for you, even though losing weight will improve your health, it'll improve your mood, it'll improve your life expectancy, the body still kicks it out because it's foreign, right? Because you're not used to thinking along those lines. So that's why the process is important. The process, basically the things that we do on a daily basis. And when you look at intense people, whether they're in sports and business and entertainment, they practice daily. They practice multiple hours a day, right? Warren Buffett, he's reading over stock reports. He's reading over company reports. He's reading over, documentation. I mean, the man, I believe he's 90 years old, but he's still doing this on a daily basis, right? Any successful CEO, they're studying daily. They're hiring coaches, paying millions of dollars for, executive coaches and all kinds of people on their team to sharpen and to get better and, to stay at that level and hopefully ascend, right? They're making the investment, whether it's a time investment or a money investment, they're making the investment. Like I said, athletes, LeBron James, he's practicing daily. I mean, he's the best basketball player in the world, but he's still practicing every single day. Why is he practicing every single day? Because he's not done. There's more that he wants to do. There's more that he wants to achieve in his life. Tom Brady, he just won his 7th championship. He's practicing. He's practicing, as I speak. It's early in the morning. I guarantee you he's in someone's gym or he's on some football field somewhere practicing in the off season, right? He's a multimillionaire. He's the greatest football player that ever lived in the eyes of many, but he's still practicing daily. Are you that intense? Do you want it bad enough that you will write your goals out daily, that you will study daily, that you will work on your craft daily, right? If you want to be the best podcaster or the best influencer there is, if you want to be the best web designer or copywriter or graphic designer or whatever it is that you desire to do, are you willing to be that intense? Because if you are, you're going to get the results that reflect that. Most people aren't. And that's really the difference. Most people want to drift through life. Most people are looking for someone to bring them along. Most people are looking for the easy way out. Most people are looking for, the easy road. There's these books, The Lazy Man's Guide to Riches. And, that particular book, it's actually not a bad book. It actually has some good ideas. It's a catchy title, right? But a lot of people are looking for that kind of book, The Lazy Guide to Lose Weight or whatever. It's like, and honestly, people who are at the top of their field, they don't look for the easy way. They look for the sure way. And the sure way is to put the work in, to put the time in, to put the necessary investment in, and stay at it until you get the result you want. You're not done until you get the result that you want. Okay. LeBron James, he has, I believe, 4 championships. He wants to at least tie Jordan. So he knows he's not done yet. The money doesn't matter to him at this point. The fame doesn't matter to him at this point. He's probably bought every car, every house, every single thing imaginable that he can think of. Now it's all about, at least tying Jordan, so he's got 2 more to go. Tiger Woods, his lifetime goal was to tie Jack Nicklaus, right? Now, with this recent accident, and I hope that he's doing better, with this recent accident, that's a challenge, right? Because he's not only having to overcome like a physical impediment, right? And, he has to rehab and everything else. He's also 45 years old. So he's not 20 anymore. So the body tends to heal differently the older you are, right? But if anyone can do it, it's him. If anybody can tie Jack Nicklaus and the 18 major wins, it's Tiger Woods. And Tiger, I think he's at 15 now. But that was such an unthought of goal for a lot of people. A lot of people thought that record would never be broken, the 18 majors. But Tiger got closer than anybody. He got closer than anyone, which is interesting. But what does Tiger have that most people don't? He has that intensity. He has that drive. And that's why, even if he doesn't break the record, Tiger is one of the greatest golfers that ever lived now, if he never plays again. And that's one of the reasons why he was intense. And he never stopped until, life stopped him. But my point is, with all this, is that look at your life and look at the things that you really want to make happen in your life and ask yourself, how intense am I? Am I really going all in with my goals? And if you aren't, then that might be why you're not getting the results. The results come when you go all in, when you are intense. When you're intense, you're not worried about what people think. You're not worried about market conditions. You're not worried about opinions. You're not worried about any of that stuff. And if you are, if you're worried about, the opinions of other people, if you're worried about market conditions, if you're worried about some random person that you'll never meet, that you'll never know, right? Then in my view, you're not intense enough. You're not focused enough on the thing that you want to make happen. So I want to thank you for listening to the Under Construction podcast. And I want to leave you with, just an action item, right? Take your goal and really do a self-inventory of what you've done up to this point to make that happen, right? And if it hasn't happened yet, what can you add to it? Can I get up a little bit earlier? Can I practice a little more? Can I, be more consistent with, writing out my goals? If it's a weight loss goal, can I be more consistent with my eating and my exercise? Can I be more consistent if it's a business goal? Can I be more consistent with reaching out to people and, developing my products, right? Ask yourself, how intense have I been? And be honest. And if you haven't, I encourage you to go all in to make it happen. So I'm going to try to close again. Thank you for tuning in to the Under Construction podcast. Again, my name is Martin Williams. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will talk to you soon. Don't forget to subscribe to the Under Construction podcast on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud. For more information on Guided Expressions courses and products, go to guidedexpressions.com/products.